lucky with this amazing band, Seaside. And here we are together, apart, just enough with our space. And, you know, even with the space between us, we have that energy of Seaside in us. And that energy took hold of me as I was sitting just as a regular old viewer there one day, and Christian came up and said, "You should take a class because life is better when you're in class." And I said, "Huh, is it really? Well, I'm going to test that." So I tested it and I got into class and my life got better. And you can do the same thing by joining Seaside more than just on Sundays. In fact, I liked it so much that I became I'm almost a practitioner. I'm going to be graduating in just a few months. And you see this golden stole. I am also on the board. So, you know, technically you could ask me any question and I will be able to get you the answer, right? I will. So tomorrow, on Mondays, starting on the 26th, so not this week, but next week, you can take a class with Reverend Debbie McDonald. You know her because she's the bright light and the energy and that force that is that power. She's going to be teaching mental equivalence starting on that Monday. And you know what mental equivalence is because it says it right there in the title. And to learn it, you got to get in that class and be a part of that energy with Reverend Debbie. And then on Tuesday, the next day, it did already start, but Reverend Christian is teaching his Living from the Mountaintop class, which I have yet to take. I am super hungry to take that class. Be the mystic you were born to be. That mystic lives in all of us. It is in you now, and Dr. Reverend Christian will take you through that experience, that journey up the mountaintop to learn how to access that at all times. That is on Tuesdays on Zoom. You can sign up on the website and join on Tuesday from 6 to 8. And then on Wednesday, you can connect again with Reverends. We're bringing back the Wednesday night service. All you have to do is go on the website. There's a little button. It's going to say click here, and boom, you're connected, just like that. Boom, connected. This Wednesday, it's going to be Reverend Rebecca Berry. So, when you're ready for that connection again, Wednesday. Then, Earth Day's coming up. That's on Thursday. That's a lot, right? But it's not too much because the Spirit flows and you're just going to get into that flow and be a part of it. So join Callie and the Seaside Sisters in the garden. Callie, is this a women's event? Yes. So those of you who are women, those of you who identify as a woman, meet us in the garden where we will celebrate the earth with Callie and the Seaside Sisters. Enjoy service.
You got us on the right track already, Maggie. That's awesome. Good morning, Seaside. It is my honor to get us anchored in this morning with a song. Who are you but the angel who brings the light of peace to all? You hold the power of love's creation. It burns within you to make the call.
Becca, that was beautiful, man. Just that song was you. Did you write that one?
I did.
Wow.
That's a COVID classic.
A COVID. It got a new classification there. I like it. Fun. Hey, good morning, Seaside. Woo! What a joy it is to be with you here, and those of you that are watching us live streaming that have carried us for this last year. It's just it's a joy. I mean, we have, like, speaking of COVID classics, we've come out of that kind of hybrid. Today is a new member Sunday. Look at the whole front row filled with new members going to join us, but also not only are they going to new members here live, but virtually we've got some people coming in from Oregon and Pasadena. You know, that's a whole different country.
That's trying to find the positive in such a terrible time. Now we have new members that aren't even in our state.
That's right. So you know, it's important to just know that, you know, when you're in those rough times, it's not the end.
That's
you know?
right.
You know, it's like twists and turns. So I mean, you. Let's see, weren't you supposed to go like on a cruise, Dave Cross, through Amsterdam?
I would have, next month would have been going to Amsterdam had we not had COVID happening. But
well, I find it a blessing you're not. Okay, we lose you.
Oh, thanks. Well, yeah. So, but you know, looking like in the future, probably next year, we might be on a cruise ship again. So we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see how it all unfolds.
Good. But in the meantime, you're back to gigging, right?
That's right.
Good.
Yeah, it's all good. All good. All good.
It is. Well, it's good here. So let's get rolling.
Yeah.
We've got a wonderful practitioner today. Everyone, you all know Sharon Ray. She's been a light at Seaside for more than a decade. She speaks. You can feel the power of God. Her son is our youth program at the present time, and we're going to get Jennifer Diallo soon to get our whole youth program going. So thank you for bringing our youth program as well as the high consciousness of the practitioner to all that we do. So everyone, Sharon Ray.
Hello. Well, I'm going to light this light. So, you know what? That would be a little better, wouldn't it? Thank you. So I'm going to light this light so that it will help me remember, and also to help you remember that you are that magnificent, unique, unrepeatable light in the world. And please join me into the stillness. I rejoice, for this is the day that God hath made. I rejoice in its oneness, its wholeness, its absolute perfection. I rejoice, for I know that everything that I need and everything that you need has already been given. It has already been called forward, for I know that it is Spirit's, Mother, Father, God's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. So I know that the activity that takes place right here, right now, is the ability to receive it and to allow it. So I open to this day. I open to all of the beauty of it, the power of it, the creativity of it, the peace of it, the vitality of it, and that infinite potentiality of it. I open to this service. I open to this time together as community, as Seaside Center for Spiritual Living. I open to that love. I open to those words, that divine download of Reverend Christian's words and thoughts. I open to each beautiful note that is sung by Rebecca Jade. And I open to all the artists and all of this community. I rejoice, for this is the day that God hath made.
Sharon and I are just a little different height-wise there. Oh, it's so good to see all of you. I'm Reverend Debbie McDonald. It's my joy to be here with you today. And look at this front row. You guys are looking good. Our new members, we look so forward to welcoming you to our Seaside family. And we have two beautiful women that are joining us virtually, as Dr. Christian said. Sylvie and Joan, we know you're out there. We can't wait to see your smiling faces, too. It's been over a year since we've been able to welcome new members to Seaside, so it feels really good. Feels really good. Also, just a quick reminder, Wednesday night service is happening. It's close to my heart, so I want to remind you, Reverend Rebecca Berry is going to be on Zoom at 7 o'clock. We've made it very easy. We removed the registration requirement. All you need to go is on the website and click on the Zoom link. 7 o'clock, you're there. She's talking this week about blessitation. Blessitation. So that's Reverend Rebecca Wednesday night. And I am going to be teaching mental equivalence, which is one of the brand new classes out of home office. So you all have never taken it before, and it's good for whoever would like to take it. Mental equivalent, and it comes from Emmett Fox's book, which is called Mental Equivalence, The Key to Demonstration, something like that. So in the class, which is just a 5-week class, it's on Monday evening, starting the 26th for 5 weeks, 2 hours a night, so it's 10 hours total. You will create the mental equivalent, or the spiritual prototype, sometimes we call it, for your life. So if you're thinking, okay, doors are opening, I'm out in the world, now what? This would be a great class for you. If you're thinking, why is this stuff showing up in my life that I do not want? It would be a great class for you. Or if you're thinking, how can I create a life I love living? It would be a great class for you. We're going to spend time actually creating the mental equivalents for each of our lives so you can live a life that you love living. I'm going to read a bit from the book, The Mental Equivalent, The Secret of Demonstration. That's what it's called. And it's a little tiny book, and the book's not even required for class. We'll do all of it through the workbook. You'll get a student workbook. Dr. Christian's talk title today is Conscious Evolution. So this is about consciousness. Where it all begins is in consciousness. This brings me to the most important thing I want to say to you. If you want to change your life, if you want to be healthier, happier, younger, more prosperous, above all, if you want to get nearer to God, and I know that you do, you must change your thought, and here's the trick, and keep it changed. This is the secret of controlling your life, and there is no other way. Change your thought and keep it changed. We have all been taught this very thing since the metaphysical movement began. I heard it stated in those very words many times nearly 40 years ago in London. And today that was 118 years ago. Well, not new thoughts. Ancient wisdom, new thought. But most of us are slow to realize the importance of it. If you want to change some condition in your life, you must change your thought about it and keep it changed. Then the condition will change accordingly. To change your thought and keep it changed is the way to build a new mental equivalent. It is the secret of accomplishment. You already have a mental equivalent for everything that is in your life today, and you must destroy the patterns for the things you do not want, and then they will disappear. You must build a new pattern or mental equivalent for the things you want, and then they will come into your life. And so it is. God bless you.
Ooh, that's a good reading right there. Change it and keep it there, right? Make the change, but you have to maintain it. Ooh. Good morning, Seaside. Well, it is my honor on Sunday mornings to introduce our guest artists. We've had them here for many, many years, and I'm just so grateful that they are here with us today. Janice Edwards, we're so grateful. This is probably like one of the first times she's been singing in over a year, and she is joining us now this morning. And Nathan has been starting to get gigs around town, which is awesome. So if you're feeling up for it, there's a beautiful new venue downtown called Il Sogno in downtown San Diego. So he's been playing there, starting to play there on a regular basis. So that's what they have kind of going on and starting to get going. Janice is here with her sweet husband, Tony Davis, who's also going to be singing. And so without further ado, Nathan Fry, Janice Edwards, and special guest Tony Davis on vocals.
Desire, and I'll be at Amen.
Woo! Wait, oh my, oh my, oh my. That is Janice Edwards, Nathan Fry, Tony Davis, and of course our very own Rebecca Jade with the Seaside Band. Oh my goodness, love keeps lifting us higher. I mean, that's the spiritual message, right? God is love, and that presence, that love is lifting us higher. All you got to do is surrender to that. I still feel like dancing. Good thing I'm not singing. Anyway, oh man, it's hard done with mask on to act like we're not singing, you know? It's anyway, it's a joy to be with you. It's a wonderful day. It's a glorious day. It's warm out. The sky is blue. And the earth is happy, which is a good thing because it's the Earth Day week. I trust you women are joining outside on Thursday night for the ritual that is going on. That will be exciting for sure. Guys, sorry. But we had the men's group on Saturday, so we got a good balance going on here. Anyway, it is that Earth Day week, and I liked Ernest Hemingway. He had just a very simple thing. He said, the earth is a fine place. We should fight for it. I was like, that's pretty easy approach. The earth's a fine place. Yeah, we should fight for it. But I also like what someone else said is, save the planet. It's our only source of chocolate. I was like, yeah, now that one makes sense. And one of, actually the grandson of Jacques Cousteau's wife, Ashlyn Cousteau, she's one of entertainers of today. She said, I know it sounds cheeky, but truly, every day is Earth Day. Of course, every day we want to be walking in balance with this planet. We want to be walking in integrity, knowing that we are part of the organism of what this little marble or globe is that is floating through the dimensions of who knows. We're part of it. It's not up to us to destroy our habitat. And so we are being called to pay attention once again. It's not the end of the globe. We're not at the end yet, but there's, we've got to begin to recognize that there's some things that are going on that is calling for our attention. Because a new path of harmony always emerges out of the chaos of the present moment. That's what happens. There's a call, and what happens is healthy organisms begin to reorganize themselves, they realign themselves, they renew themselves to make the adjustment that is necessary to find that harmonious path to what's going on. And so this morning's message, The Conscious Evolution, is inspired by the title from the book that we're working on here. And the book, as all of you know, is Our Moment of Choice, and you can participate with it on a deeper level through a sacred circle. Those are small groups on Zoom the week following the message here, and you take the message to a deeper level with a practitioner, with a curriculum that in some way corresponds to my message. And so this week's message comes from this book written by Bruce Lipton. He is one of our modern day scientists. He's a cell biologist. He wrote the book Biology, I believe, really brought forth the concept of epigenetics into the current conversation, was one of the forerunners on that. And what biologists like to do, or at least when I was talking with him, what they tend to do is they take a look at the biology to see how that works, and then they extrapolate it out to what's going on in the world. As within, so without. You got the cosmos that's looking like the atom. What the biologists do is they take a look at biology and see how does it transfer into what's going on in the world. And so I want to share with you from this particular chapter called Conscious Evolution. We want to be conscious because things are evolving. So he writes, epigenetics recognizes that the environment, and more importantly, our perception of the environment, controls the genetic activity and behavior, and thus it shifts the focus of the evolutionary theory to the role of the nervous system and consciousness. Okay, that's pretty profound. It shifts to the consciousness and the nervous system that responds to consciousness, and they've got science that's proving it. So this is what is considered fact these days. So because conscious evolution theory elucidates the fact that cooperation rather than competition and struggle is the driving force of evolution. It can support the survival of the human civilization. So survival of the fittest is giving way to a more scientifically accurate and more positive theory of evolution, and that is one that emphasizes the role of cooperation, interaction, and mutual dependence among all life forms. And in the words of Lynn Margulis, she said, "Life did not take over the globe by combat, but by networking." So, a little different approach. Darwin wouldn't be too pleased about this particular approach that is going on here. But what he is saying is that when a system begins to break down within the body and the cells are no longer working on that there is a new intelligence, a new way that begins to find the way to make it work. That's what it does to save the body, to save a situation. There is the emergence of a new cell that finds the new pathway to support it, and then you have that cell that is working at that greater level, and then another one joins it because it matches that consciousness, that vibration, another one, and all of a sudden you've got a whole system once again that has reestablished the new pathway. Does that make sense? That's good, because I spent a lot of time rereading that, trying to figure out how to explain it. So I guess it transferred okay a little bit there. But what I know is as the chaos of the present moment breaks things down, there is a new intelligence that begins to take form, that others begin to come along, and you begin to create this healthy organism or this healthy cell or this healthy organ. And then you've got another one that's happening over here, another one, and these systems come together and make a grander one. So this is what needs to go on the planet. We got new breakthroughs, new ideas that are happening here and happening here. And as we come together, we're going to be able together make a planetary difference. But it starts with individuals doing what we can do where we can do it. Are you? Okay, so here's good news. This is a good part, but when I went to college, I went to Cal State Northridge, and I took a screenplay writing class. And I remember someone asking the instructor, how do you start this thing? And he said, that's the easy part. You start at the end. You start at the end, and then you fit in all the pieces. You work backwards, and you figure out what pieces will get you to that end. And as I think about my book that I wrote, the last one, Living from the Mountaintop, I start at the end, where we merge into the light. We all become one and live happily ever after, that kind of thing. But I would then work back from, this is where I want to go, but this is where it starts. I share that because life is sometimes like that screenplay. You've got these twists, you got these turns, and it's not looking very good in this moment. But I assure you, God's vision is this Garden of Eden. That with God, it's going to turn out okay. It's in Isaiah, the 46th chapter, verse 10. It says, God knows the beginning. God knows the end from the beginning. God knows the end from the beginning, and that end is good. Jeremiah goes on to say in the 29th chapter that God's ending is good. God's ending for you has been declared that it is good. It is not evil. So the end is known. It's good. It's going to work out. Now, we may get caught up in the chaos of the moment that it's calling for a conscious evolution through this to be able to do what I can do where I am at. But as I begin to do that, I've got to recognize that where I'm starting does not determine my destiny. You got that? That's worth writing down for all you note takers. Where I start does not determine my destiny. That destiny, that end is already known within the mind of God, and it's beautiful. It's healthy. It's whole. It is good. It is vibrant. It is abundant. It is the truth of your being. And all of a sudden, the new harmonious pathways to get there are going to come out of the chaos if I can choose to hold that vision or that goal or that place in mind in the midst of the drama of the movie I'm in. Because sometimes we get caught up in the pain of the particular. We get this myopic vision that this is it. And I'm looking over here, and the truth is I want to be going over here. But I'm looking over there, but that's where I want to go. I've got to remember, I got to become conscious of my evolutionary process here, that it comes back to, as Bruce was talking about, the intelligence of the consciousness that directs the nervous system, that directs the activity that begins to show up in life and in the world in which we live. We're the ones who get to trust that. I'm seeing Edwin sitting behind that camera week after week. And week after week, I stick my foot in my mouth because I love the Lakers. I come from there. Edwin, he likes the Lakers, and I'll say, hey, wait, hey, what do you think of those Lakers last night? Wasn't that amazing? He's like, Christian, no, don't tell me. I recorded it. I didn't see the ending. And I got to tell you, more times than not, I've blown it. UCLA, did you see that? A loss at the last. It's like, oh, no, that one's recorded. But it's happened to me. I have found out the outcome of a game that I was going to watch later. And what I've come to notice is that, like, there's a different vibe than sweating. Oh, no, man, the Lakers are just tanking. They're in the hole. It's halftime. There's no way they're going to come back if I'm watching it live. But I found out in the paper that they won. I'm not saying they did last night, Edwin, so I'm just saying, I'm doing my best to hold back what happened. But anyway, so you get what I'm saying? So I know they're going to pull this out. So they're in the hole. They're being crushed. And all of a sudden, the second half comes, and they start getting their mojo back, and things start moving, and they start evolving. But I was never worried. I mean, I'm excited about the game. I'm paying attention. But I know the outcome is solid. So I'm not sitting there freaking out thinking this is the end of the world. See, when you're conscious of the evolution and the place you're going, the end is already known. The end is God. God is omnipresent. And at the end, God's good. Yes? Yeah, okay. So you got to know that. And when you know that, you can begin to relax a little bit more and recognize I need to be conscious with what I put out there in the world. There was a student who went to a master teacher in the monastery, as a young monk, and he couldn't quite get a grip and take charge of his thoughts and his thinking. And the monk said, come on with me. And I'm sure you've heard different aspects of this analogy. But the teacher told the young monk, just throw a pebble into the middle of that pond. The kid did, and the ripples started coming back. And the teacher told the young one, go ahead and put your finger in the pond and stop the ripples. And he did that. I said, it's impossible. I can't stop those ripples. There's nothing I can do about that. He said, no, you can't stop that. But what you could stop is having not thrown that first pebble. What we can do is not cast the challenge, the fear, the anxiety. I guess what I'm saying is we want to be conscious of what we're casting. Ernest Holmes, the founder of this philosophy, says spirit, life, energy, call it what you will. It works for us by working through us. And when I am conscious, I throw less of those pebbles that are going to be unstoppable reverberations as they unfold. Jane Goodall, honoring Earth Day. I think she's one of the women you're honoring Thursday night at your Earth Day ritual outside. But she said that you can't help but every single day make an impact upon the world you're in. You're a difference maker. And you get to decide what the difference is you're going to make. See, that's the conscious part of your evolution. Because once you put that pebble in and you consciously put it there, then the reverberation and the ripple begins to go out. And if it's in a sense of knowing all is well, it's going to work out. That I'm in the game here. And I'm being conscious with it. At all levels. I mean, it's not some place where God is not. I need to be conscious with how I walk on this earth, how I am with individuals, in relationships, in my business practices, in my creative expression. What am I putting into the center that energetically unfolds out? There was a beggar, and he was doing his begging gig at the side of the road, wasn't doing too good with his shtick that day. And it had been a couple days, obviously he didn't have the good begging spot in the corner. And he was kind of being dejected, feeling down, and then he saw in the distance, this was in the days of old. So he saw the golden chariot coming. It was the king's chariot. He knew it. He was excited, stoked. He hit the jackpot. He knew the king was going to come and share the alms with him. The ground was going to turn to gold and blossom, and he would live happily ever after. The king pulls up in his chariot and sticks his head out the window. They didn't have him roll down then. So sticks his head out the window, and he says to the beggar, what do you have to give me? And the beggar's just blown away. I just didn't see that one coming. I mean, would you give a guy who has everything, you have got nothing, who's asked, that one just dumbfounded me. It's like, oh, well, that's not what I was expecting. And so, he's got his little tote bag with his, stuff. There's some kernels of corn in there. You chomp on a corn kernel, the course of the day, the early day corn nuts, I guess. But so he took out a kernel of corn and just gave it to the king and said, there you go. Well, it's interesting, at the end of the day, when he went to his hut, and he just poured out the contents of his little tote bag and things he got, he noticed in the kernels of corn, one of the kernels was a gold kernel. And he began to weep. Because what he came to realize is that he gave him only one kernel. If he had given him everything he had, if he had the faith, if he had trusted that, in the end he was going to be taken care of and I'm going to give everything I have to the king, my life would be blessed. Soresnsen said, it's done unto you, it's done through you. What Spirit does for you, does through you. And if you're given a little kernel, that's what you can expect to get back. But if you're giving it all, what happens is Spirit shows up in your life that is the relevant way. You may give a little kernel here of something, but if you need a health situation, your health is, boom, taken care of. You are prayed up in advance. Your business deal is coming together. Your proposal is being accepted. That loan is going through. You've got to remember to allow yourself to be in partnership with the Spirit and be conscious of this. That God and I, we're doing this. We're in the partnership. Spirit and I are one. This is how Spirit is manifesting in my world, is through my action. I'm going to be conscious of this because the evolution that is going to show me the harmonious pathways through the chaos of the particular moment so life can reorganize itself, so life can reestablish itself, so life can create these new pathways to wholeness and joy and self-expression, that I'm able to step out with a freedom and a love and a creativity are waiting to be acknowledged and expressed in our life and in our world. See, we're in this energetic field. We are, we're electromagnetic, if you want. There's so much stuff going on in the airwaves, the news, EMFs. So, we cannot help but be impacted in our psychic field. I mean, the stuff is going on. So you really got to work on being conscious so you can be that place, because we are moved from an era where it was so material. If I was going to read something, I'm going to hold that paper or book and read it. But now, you can read it online. And speaking online, you get your news online, you get your information, you get it through the screen, you talk to people. It's no longer a hardline phone I'm talking. It's cell phones, the energy of the cell phones. You got the, it's just, I can go on about all the energetic things. And I want you to know how beautiful the technological, energetic expression of our time is. We're blessed. And it's nowhere near as beautiful and powerful and elegant as an awakened soul. In your awakening, you can use the things of this world to help you walk down the path, but they do not need to become that which is destructive or pulls you down or destroys you. You get to be at the choice and know that you are rooted in Spirit, because that which is rooted deep, it's hard to unroot. And I'm going to be rooted in Spirit because I know the ending already. I know that screenplay has been written, and that ending is good. And so if something starts to shake me, I got to be decisive enough that I'm not going to allow it. That's the conscious part. I've had somebody say, Christian, I think I used to be indecisive, but I just don't know anymore. Yeah. Dostoevsky, Fyodor Dostoevsky, wrote Crime and Punishment, Russian novelist. He said the mystery of humanity is not how we are able to survive and live, but rather, what are we going to live for? You need to get decisive. You need to say, I'm going to be conscious about this. The things I'm going to drop in the center of this energetic field, that is beautiful, but it's the soul that is awakened, that is conscious, that is choosing its evolutionary path, that is uniting with others that are believing in the possibilities that exist, are rooted deep in Spirit. And I've got these little, I call them flowers because I'm being nice on the pulpit, but in Montana, they're weeds. But anyway, and I want to get rid of these little teeny things. Their roots are so strong, I can't pull them out of the ground. It's like, what are you attached to? The core? It's like, oh, it doesn't give way. It doesn't give it up. It holds on deeply. And so that's what faith does. Faith is what you do between miracles. I am in this chaotic spot. I haven't reached that end yet. I know the end is good. I've had some good moments, and I'm not in that other good. Faith is what you do between those miracles. Another one worth writing down. And you begin to hold on to, the story of Joseph. I'm not going to go into it because you've all seen his coat of many colors show. But here's a kid who was dad's favorite. He was given the coat of many colors. This beautiful coat. He had these dreams that, even the planets and the stars bowed to him. Do you know how egotistical and your older brothers would think about that? You bet you're going to be beat up and bullied. And eventually he got sold off into slavery. Not quite the honoring of a vision, but he knew that wasn't the end. Do you get that? He knew that wasn't his destiny. Just because the beginning, he knew it doesn't determine the end. He knew there was something greater. And so the queen kind of hooked up with him, was happy to have this manservant in her life. But he wasn't as manly as she had been hoping for. So she made up these fictitious stories about him, which got him thrown in jail again. That's not the place where the leader of nations and planets bowed to you. She ended up in jail, but he kept the faith. You see that? Between the miracles of working for the top dogs and being the favored son, he held that faith. And as we know, he began to have these dreams and caught the dream, interpreted it about 7 years of famine. He came back and the Pharaoh heard of it. And he told the Pharaoh, you've got to, save the grain and feed those when they run out, including my family. And sure enough, it's what happened. He became that. His family ended up bowing before him. I share that because when you know the end, and we know the end. It's God. We sang it today. Love lifts me higher. That's how it ends up going. That's the direction it is heading, and we may hit the chaos. We may hit those moments of not knowing. But I've heard it said that, in the end, all's good for God. God's all good in the end, yes? Okay, I want you to have that premise. The end, it's all good. God's got it. We know that's the outcome. So, here's the key for you. I want you to remember this one. If it's not good in your life right now, it's not the end. It's that simple. And so you've got to keep the faith and continue to be conscious of those stones you're putting in there. And all of a sudden, those little cells will start organizing. And it's happening on our planet right now. Usually on Earth Day, I stand up and tell you these horrific stories of how bad it is, trying to scare you into doing something good. We're doing good things that we can around our house, whether it's the trash or the light bulbs or gas-efficient cars. But I'll tell you some of the stories I'm reading. I read in yesterday's paper that aviation industry, and Nancy probably confirmed this, knows that they're going to be going to electronic planes, that it's going to be electrical energy that is fueling the planes. What is going to be happening is that there's drones right now planting trees, replanting forests across all the 1 million acres that we burned in California. We said, isn't that terrible it burned? Yeah, but we've got something that we are participating right now to do that. We know about the solar panels on roofs. We are living it. We got an $800 a month electric bill and we pay nothing because we have solar on our roof. And now they're taking it to the next level. See, this is how things organize. Instead of having these ugly panels on the roof, you got roof tiles that look like roof tiles that are solar panels that will save you those $100 a month. We've got things that are happening. Here in Carlsbad, we have the state-of-the-art, the largest, most technologically efficient desalinization plant in our nation. So yeah, that is, we're celebrating, It is drought resistance because we have a whole ocean. And we just celebrated our 3-year anniversary of it with the 40 billionth gallon of water that was pumped into our reservoirs for us to use right here. There are good things that are going on. See, these are the single things, those cells that are starting to organize, that are beginning to create a conglomerate, an organism that is larger than the singular one. And I could, gosh, I've got a ton of them in my head. But you know what? I found a little clip. It's 3 minutes, so it's kind of long. But Marv, there's 10 things here that's going on. I want us to celebrate the blessings that are happening. Just going to tell you what these are in a moment. Ocean's just sucking out the trash. It's taking out the trash instead of at home, out of the ocean. I could only get my son to empty that. Amazing pollution becomes the ink for our pens. Wow. So water doesn't have to come in plastic bottles anymore. There you go. And so I just want you to get, we haven't quite saved the planet yet, but you know, we're in the process and the cells are starting to reorganize. We are finding that new path through. We're going to get there. And what this world needs is those who can hold that vision, that are conscious enough to speak the evolution in that direction, because as Jane Goodall says, you get to decide the difference you're going to make. Are you going to be a heavy downer, or are you going to be one that says, you know what, the end is we are living in the Garden of Eden and we are finding our pathway through, and you know what? This script is not over yet. The script that I see has God's ending, and God's ends in good for all. God bless us as we experience that together. Happy Earth Day, everyone. Hey, let's keep it going as we bring back to the stage Janice, Jace. We got Tony. Yeah.
he ain't heavy. He's my brother. If I'm laden at all, I'm laden with sadness that everyone's heart isn't filled with the gladness of love for one another. It's a long, long road for which there is no return while we're on our way to there. Oh, why not share? And the Lord doesn't weigh me down at all. He ain't heavy. He's my brother. I'm laden, if I'm laden at all, I'm laden with sadness that everyone's heart isn't filled with the gladness of love for one another. Yeah, it's a long, 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 long road for which there is no return. So while we're on the way to there, why not share? And the Lord doesn't weigh me down at all. Oh, he ain't heavy. He ain't heavy. He's my brother. He ain't heavy. Oh, he's my brother. He's my brother. He ain't heavy. 'Cause he's my brother. He ain't heavy. Oh no. He's my brother.
Ain't heavy. That's Nathan Fry there on the keyboards. Janice Edwards, Tony Davis, just touching our hearts, also awakening us, making us feel and allowing us to feel. Hey, this is time for service where we have the opportunity to share our gift. You know, together we're coming back. You know, it's like that cell that's turning into a greater than its individual parts that is starting to make a difference in a profound kind of way. And together we have united to create this community known as Seaside. We have carried it through time, and we're coming back. And it's exciting. And those of you at home, we know that you're there and you've been part of things. You continue to be part of things, and your impact is profound. And those of us that are here, we can feel that the magic of gathering once again and listening to Janice and Tony singing for the first time in public in over a year right here. And you should hear their joy and their elation to be able to do that. You know, this is the kind of space that we believe in that is positive, empowering, and And so, anyway, our gift goes to support this, and we find it supports our life. We find a sense of trust. We find a sense of security. We find a sense of peace, knowing that our source is not dependent upon the outside or the climate of what's going on, that rather Spirit is my source. That love lifts me higher. That end is already known, and as I continue to partner with supporting Spirit, Spirit supports its expression as you. This is the way that works. One little grain of corn, or all of it. You know? You're the one who gets to decide. That centerpiece that you drop in the pond ripples out. Spirit works for you by working through you. You cast it. I can tell you the end. We all heard it. We already know it. You know, God's unlimited abundance. That's where we're going. So, as you give, it comes back. But it's not why you do it. It's an extension of your consciousness. You're an activity that Spirit's having in your life. And so this is the time where I usually pass the basket. You know, I just did this pretty good, didn't I? And it's like, okay, I forgot I'm not passing it. So if they're at the door on the way out, you know, by all means, take advantage of that and let your heart expression be known with your gift. It's significant. It makes a difference. And those of you at home, thank you for texting to give, for Venmo, for Breeze, for PayPal, for mailing it in. We're able to keep moving and offering. You know, like this week, is that amazing? Maybe not this Monday, but Mondays, Debbie's going to be doing her new class on mental equivalence. Tuesday nights, you can still sign up. Tomorrow night, I'm doing Living from the Mountaintop. You can pick the book up on the way out. It's over next to the bookstore on the outside. It's the only book that's available. Help yourself there. You know, Wednesday night, the midweek service is going. Thursday night, the sisters are gathering. Seaside is alive. It is happening again here. It's an opportunity for you to see that. And I got to tell you, really, the most exciting thing today is Seaside is alive and growing because we have new members who said, I'm part of this family. I want to make it official and step into that alignment. So what I would like to do is invite our new members that are in this room to come stand. I've got spots so you know they're actually 7 feet apart or more. You know, stand there. We got a couple up on the screen from a different locale. And Maggie, you want to come on up and represent the board as we stand here together? You got a microphone. We'll go down here and face out to everybody. And you can stand on this side. I'll stand on that side. Hey, Sylvia, who's over there in Oregon. We see you. We love you. We know you're there. And so welcome, welcome, as well as in the other screen is Joan, who's in Pasadena. But I'd like to share these words. Hey, Joan, welcome. I know you guys, we got the sound so it works and doesn't work, but we see you. I hope you can hear us. Nod your head. Can't hear me? Okay, well, we'll figure it out by the time. I'll tell you what, let's share our name. Just speak out. What? No, you can pull it down to speak. We got the distance. Welcome, Tamara. All right, Boyd, about time. Oh, man, and what a wonderful chef you are. How fun. Hey, Karen. All right. Yes. That's it. I recognize the name. How fun. Jennifer. All right, Tracy. Man, you're back way, way back there. Karen. Hey, on the screen, can you hear us? Share your name. Oh, there you are. I've been talking to you. I've given you so much information. Finally, you get to hear me. Yeah, that's right. Wave it up. We've been celebrating you. Let's start with Oregon. Share your name and where you're at. Okay. But we're working on technology here. Let's see. How about in Pasadena? You want to share your hello? Anyway, she's saying this is Joan from Pasadena. Hello, that's Sylvia. Okay, anyway, I've got some words along with a board member here. We want to welcome you into our community. This is a significant moment in Seaside. Your presence here today is a statement for all of us that Seaside is alive, that it is healthy, that it is awakening, that it's growing once again, that we may have been cocooned a little bit But you know what? Spring is here, and you standing forth are the new wave of the aliveness that is birthing itself. So I stand here, and I want to invite everybody just to realign your commitment, because to find a community that you can spiritually align with is a gift. It is magnificent. And for you to consciously say, yeah, this is my tribe, I'm part of it, it makes a significant difference in one's life to know that you got a community that cares, that loves you, that supports you, that is not judgmental, that is opening and welcoming and is there to help pick you up when you fall and is there to celebrate you in your joys and your significant moments in life. And so I'm here to stand as a testimony that this community is not just is a leader speaking. You are this community. You are its hands, its heart, its head, its feet, its action. You're the ones who take it off the campus and take it into life. You're the one who brings this love into the family. You bring the spiritual leadership into your world, into your business, into your friendships. And this that we bring is a sense of connectedness with the infinite, and healing happens. And the healing that happens isn't just in the physical body, it's in our world of affairs. The living with a sense of peace and trust and faith is what unfolds when you continue to remember to put that life force first. And so, on behalf of your board of trustees, we have got Maggie, who's got a few words to share with you.
You are unifying with each other and with the members of this center and of all member centers for spiritual living throughout the world in a warm, loving, divine fellowship of the Spirit. As you enter into this center's activity in thought, word, purpose, plan, and action, you are important in a unique way to each other and to humanity. Through your adherence to and practice of the teaching of religious science, you become a vital factor in establishing and maintaining the kingdom of heaven on earth. As you join in membership, cooperation, the experience of each is enlarged and expanded into greater good. For as you enter into a life of service to mankind, to life itself, and to God, you knowingly become one with the very spirit of the divine presence. In this way, you increasingly become an influence for good in the lives of all whom you contact. The one obligation placed upon you is the obligation you place on yourself in the fulfillment of the purpose in your heart for your life and the meaning of this membership to you. On behalf of the Board of Trustees and the other members of this center, I lovingly receive each one of you into membership in the Seaside Center for Spiritual Living.
Hey, go Max.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
To our brand new members, we say, we are family. I got all my sisters with me and my brothers too. We are family. Get up everybody and say, hey, we are family. We are family. I got all my sisters, got my sisters with me. Yeah, we are family and my brothers chorus one more time, y'all. Oh, everybody, come on. Woo. We are family. Oh yeah, I got all my sisters with me. Oh, we are family. Come on, get up, everybody. Get up and sing. We are family. I got all my sisters and my brothers too. Yeah, we are family. Get up, everybody, and sing.
All right. Hey, welcome. Woo. Hey, just remain standing if you're comfortable for a quick prayer and know that this is a divine moment. You feel the joy in the house, the aliveness. Seaside is growing, it is alive, it is dynamic, it is blossoming. There is newness, there is support of that which has been, for truly Seaside is graced by the presence of God, because each and every one of us brings to this expanding totality our individual uniqueness. We each are that expression that God is having, and as we allow that expression to move through each of us, it purges out anything unlike itself. And what remains is the whole vibrant expression of God, attracting the good that has already been decreed and declared from the beginning. The end is known. And that is God is whole, perfect, and complete, and that is our experience right now. So every prayer request that has been brought to our community, whether it has been emailed, sent in, written in, or just lifted in consciousness, I know that it is being fulfilled. And the practitioners that are available on Zoom after the service speak the words of God, so we go there and get in the private room and ask for prayer and receive. And with that comes the divine expression. And in this place of love and community, we honor those dear spirits that have moved on. Richard Soresnsen made his transition. We know that he moves on with the ease and the grace, leaving behind a body that was not working as well as it could have been. And that he knows about the freedom in his soul expression. And his wife, Caroline, we embrace, we love, we support our sister at this time. For as she moves through this transition, she is able to rest upon not only her deep faith that brings a peace that passes understanding, she feels our love, our caring, and our compassion. For a dear minister friend of mine who has spoken at Seaside, Reverend Mary Omwe, who would speak to thousands on Sunday, who was a beloved friend of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, moved on 2 days ago. And so I know right now her meditative oming goes on continuously with the best there are. Her soul is alive and active and filled with spirit. And one of our very own kids, April, 12 years old, that she is fine, but I know right now that she is finding within herself the beautiful spiritual principles she was raised with, feeling the love of family as well as spiritual community, that as she struggles with emotional questions of the dynamics of the era and times we are living in, that she finds within her soul, her purpose, her aliveness, her passion, and she steps into the strength of her being confident in her self-expression. And so Seaside continues to be a blessed, growing, evolving spiritual tribe that love and care and support one another in our spiritual evolution on our own individual paths, but somehow synergistically we are creating our harmonious new path through the chaos of the times, knowing that the end has been written for our good. I'm grateful. Thankful for each and every one of us experiencing the fullness and the richness of life. I let go to this. I trust, I believe it is so, because it is. And so it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the but now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God to know.
Wonderful. Oh, thank you guys for being here. And a big shout out of support to our 9 new members. You are a bigger gift and than you'll ever know for our community to see that on the other side of what we came through, we are alive and we are growing. And your yes is a profound statement that things are good here at Seaside. We love you, those that are physically here, those of you that are virtually here, and our ever-expanding virtual community online. We know you are there. We love you, and I love all of you. Bring some friends back next week, and we'll do it again. Take care.